You know what I hate? No, don't worry. Just sit down a bit. I'm gonna tell you. This is probably gonna be a bit of a rant today, and I don't even know exactly where I'm gonna go with it because it's just a lot on my mind right now. Right? I hate the concept of money. I hate that we need it for just about anything and everything in this life. Oh yeah. I was looking at some numbers, some statistics, rather, of what it was like living in the 80s, early 90s, the cost of living. And I was astonished when someone crunched the numbers. I'm going to take their word for it. I can't remember the video I was watching. But man, imagine if you had like $2,000 at the end of every month, just money you could throw away. You already got, you know what I mean? You're saving. Just imagine what it would be like to have like $2,000 just laying around at the end of every month. Can you imagine that? In this day and age, that's what it was like growing up in our parents' time, the cost of living. Groceries, gas, rent, housing, childcare, all these basic needs and necessities that we all take for granted. They paid all their expenses and had maybe like $700 to $800 left over at the end of all expenses. I wish I had that at the end of every month, just laying around. Not in savings, just laying around. Right? It costs an arm and a leg to do anything nowadays. Leaving outside of the house, you're gonna spend $100, $200, $300 just going outside of the house to do anything. And I hate that. Because it seems like you have to be rich in order to have any type of comfortability these days. And I'm like, why does everything have to cost so much? Why does everything have to cost so much? Like, even though I just lost my car insurance was $273 and some change. And my car note was $303. So I was paying close to $600 for my car every month. And that's basically 1 week's worth of pay you know what I mean? So 1/4 of my check went to making sure my car was good. I didn't have enough money to move out and to get my own place. You can say, well, that's because you didn't have a good enough paying job. I had a decent enough paying job. It's just that I had to take on more responsibility. I had to do work that I wasn't quite ready or comfortable with, like operating machinery, you know? And maybe if I would have done that, I probably would have still been working there because they had this second chance program, but they ain't get that to me. I wasn't worth it. But we're not gonna cry about that. It seems like the average person is just one paycheck away from being homeless or evicted. That's rough. That means if you miss another day, you're going under. if there's an emergency where you gotta miss time from work because of your kids or whatever, you might be going under. Groceries cost ridiculous. And see, I don't live in one of the highest cost of living states. I live in Maryland. And not an affluent part either. I live in a daggone hood, baby. But that's not what this is about. This is about the concept of money. And if you have a record like I do, you're excluded from a lot of different jobs, because if you got a felony on your record, they say, nah, we don't want him. And the crazy part about it is, anybody who has a felony on their record that wants to turn their life around, they're met with multiple challenges. Multiple challenges. What's my felony? I was running from the cops. Yes, running from the police is a felony, in case you didn't know. Running from the police is a felony. That's what I have on my record. Running from them. And because of that, there's a lot of jobs I probably never will be able to get. That's why I'm coming on to YouTube to share my story, because I don't want anyone to make the same mistakes I did. If my videos come across your desk, or they make an impression on your For You or on your feed, I'm glad that you clicked it. Thank you for tuning in. You may learn something that you may not have known through my experiences. But see, they say money is the root of all evil. I beg to differ. I say the desire for money, or the lack of money, is the root of all evil. That's why you have so much crime in poverty-stricken areas, because nobody has money. I hope that makes sense. People don't just commit crimes because they're bad people. No. People commit crimes because they're in desperate situations and they need money right now. You don't see people people in low poverty trying to scam the system, trying to get trying to cook the books to make it look like they paid their rent, because somebody's gonna be like, hey, I didn't get that money. There really is no easy way out. And as the cost of living increases, and as our wages stagnate, we're just going to be priced out of life. And what is going to be the alternative when nobody can afford to live? Nobody below middle class can afford to live. What type of programs do you think they're going to introduce? What is it going to be? Concentration camps again? I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know if you heard about Philly being on strike and the 911 outage. I did a little video on my channel, reaction to that. What's going on in Philadelphia? It's flash floods all over the world. Well, all over the United States. I think it was like 30 something states that got hit by heavy downpours and rains and floods. Texas being the most popular at the time, because Texas had a massive flood. How much do you think the damage cost to repair all the damage that the flood happened to affect? I don't even need to guess. I know it's over millions of dollars, probably hundreds of millions of dollars, if we just want to ballpark it. You know what I mean? Where's that money gonna come from? People who are well off, it's the only place where it can come from. People who are doing well, they have disposable income and can afford to spare some change for the less fortunate. It sucks living in poverty. It seems like money eludes you. You can chase after it for your entire life and never get a hold of any of it. Maybe a few coins, a few shillings. But ultimately, if you're born in poverty, you're almost guaranteed to live in poverty your entire life because you don't know anything about money. You have to educate yourself. And even that's time and that's work. I hate the concept of money because it's something that's artificial that you need. It's a consensus reality, and the value of our money is decreasing by the day. In our parents' age, you could probably go to the store, get a bubble gum, a bag of chips, and a soda for $1. Can you imagine that? Some bubble gum, a bag of chips, and a soda for $1. What can you get for $1 nowadays? You can get the fuck on. That's what you can do. You can get the fuck on. You only got $1 in your pocket, bro. You can't do shit. I don't even think you can get a fry from McDonald's for $1. It's probably gonna be like $1.39 or $1.50, maybe close to $2 for a small fry. You can't do nothing with $1. Yeah, and I'm in not a well ventilated area, so the smoke is just gonna chill around me. That's another thing. I'm stressed out, smoking cigarettes. Can't smoke weed because if you want a good paying job, you can't smoke weed. I don't really like to drink, and I can't really afford to be buying drinks and alcohol. I just really hate the way that this world is, the way it's set up, so that you always need money. Because everything costs. What the fuck, man? It wasn't always like this. When I was a kid, instead of playing video games, I should have been studying the economy. I should have been looking to buy a house. You know what I mean? 2008, I had just turned 18. Yeah, that's when I graduated, 2008. The year I turned 18. I was going to college, trying to get a psychology degree. But I had messed up in college and decided I didn't want to go back. I didn't want to go further into debt to get a degree. The most amount of money I made was $24 an hour, and that was doing welding. I was doing welding fabrications. I'm sure I could still do it, but there aren't that many opportunities in Maryland that you can get without having a car. I got too comfortable in the job that I was working at, and I ended up losing that job. And now I'm just in a situation where I gotta figure it out. The answers aren't coming to me. I don't really know who's gonna give me an opportunity for a job. I don't know which way to go. You could say this is a cry for help, but I don't expect anybody watching my videos to actually be able to help me. But even still, I just feel like getting it off my chest. It feels better when I talk about my problems to the world instead of just to myself. I hate the concept of money because you need money. You need money to do anything. If you don't have money, you don't have the privilege or the luxury to do what you want to do. And even if you do have money, you got to manage that money to such a degree where you have to forego certain things because you won't be able to afford it. I know there's a lot of people out there who are probably in a worse situation than me and can complain at length about how hard life is. I'm just thankful that I have a support system. I'm just thankful that my parents still care enough about me to make sure that my basic needs are met. I've been trying to get out of my parents' house for the better part of a decade. And it just seems like there's no easy way to do it. I'm gonna have to make some type of a crazy sacrifice, put all things that I wish and want to do to the side to find a job that's gonna pay me enough to live a decent life. Sometimes I truly feel like I was born in the wrong era. It just fucking sucks, man. This really fucking sucks, bro. No job, no income, no way out. All because of money. Money, money, money. Money. Money, money, money. Money. Why does everything have to be centered around money? God, I hate money. But I need it in order to live a decent life. You have to be rich to afford a comfortable life nowadays. You have to be rich. How do you get rich? I don't know. I'm not rich. But all I know is I'm just gonna keep fighting and keep trudging along because that's all I can do. I don't wanna quit and throw in the towel and just end my life because I can't get money. I feel like that's stupid. But it may make sense to some people who are at their wits' end, don't know what they're gonna do, don't know where their next meal is coming from. It's just a crazy life, bro. And we all are going through the same thing. I know you might be watching this video, you might be well off, but you're still struggling to pay bills. You're still stressing out about money. Nobody's excluded. We all gotta go through this bullshit. We were born into a world that requires us to make money. And I hate it. How much I hate it doesn't really matter. Just know that I hate it. So what are we gonna do? So I keep asking myself, what's the plan? How am I gonna get out of this one? You know, I find myself calling on God saying, God, please help me out. Please help me out. But it seems like God got more important things to worry about than trying to get my life back on track. I'ma still call on his name. I'ma still pray. I'ma still worship. But man, I don't know where to go, bro. I'm really lost. I'm really, really fucking lost, bro. How do you win this game called life with no money? Fuck. I mean, I could rant all day about not having money and hating money, but that's not gonna get me anywhere. I hope that if there's anybody out there going through something similar, you feel a little bit more at ease because you're not the only one. And I'm just bearing my soul with how shitty I feel because I lost a decent job. And a car. Yep. And a car. So I'm basically starting over at ground zero in my mid-30s. And sometimes you just want to give up. But giving up isn't even an option. Giving up isn't even an option. If you ask me, am I okay? I would say yes, I'm okay. I'm just really looking at life and how difficult it's gonna be moving forward. I'm gonna keep posting every day because That's how you can check in with me. Know that I'm still alive, I'm still breathing, I'm still complaining. You know what I mean? Maybe I'll get to a day where I don't have to complain anymore. And then I'll just be talking motivation, motivation, motivation. Yeah, you can do it. You can do it. If nobody thinks you can do it, I think you can do it. You can do it. I did it. You can do it too. Yeah, but we're not there yet. We're at the bottom of the barrel. We're at the base of the mountain looking up at this big, monstrous climb we have to. And figure it all out on the way up. I hope you're doing better than me, you know. But that's pretty much it. Rant over. Professor Hawk signing out. Hawk Sensei bids you adieu. I hope you're waking up every day with a plan, a purpose, and a smile. If you're not waking up with a plan, a purpose, and a smile, hey, at least you're waking up. Till next time, y'all. Class dismissed.